Hi, welcome to the second episode of The Irish Teacher. I'm going to bottle up right now. Um, so let me get right down to it. Oh my God, workshops. I start teaching on Tuesday, but this past week we had a bunch of workshops, and that was possibly those are possibly some of the longest days I've had in recent memory. They were just so long. Before going further, though, I want to say that I found out pretty quickly that my staff, my coworkers, are extremely awesome and supportive and friendly and really, really cool. I'm really looking forward to working with them. So, just want to say that because they're kind of cool, and I felt like it was worth mentioning. My principal and superintendent are really cool too, so I'm looking forward to working with those guys. So yeah, but that being said, those workshops, they were so long. Some of them were important. I'll say that some of them were important. We learned about bloodborne pathogen stuff. If you have students with diabetes, what we're supposed to do. I'm sure there's more important stuff in there that I just cannot recall right now because all just kind of blurred together. Yeah, some of it was very much not helpful. Considering the fact that I've only been hired for this job for, let me think, they offered it to me about 2 weeks ago. School starts in 3 days. So I've had hardly any time to really prepare and get stuff ready. And I've got a bunch of boxes in my room too. And I mean, they're not my boxes. They're for this fancy piece of equipment that has yet to be put up, but hopefully will be put up soon. So I can start moving things around in there. And yeah, so there's a lot of work to be done. I've got to, basically, here's what ended up happening during those workshops. I ended up bringing my laptop in at some point. I got a MacBook Air when I got hired as a teacher, which is, I'm going to say, pretty cool. But yeah, so what ended up happening is during the workshops that I really didn't pay much attention to, just to kind of keep myself going, I brought my laptop in and I started working on what I was going to be teaching over the course of the year, kind of picking out which books I'm going to be doing, what kinds of writing styles am I going to be teaching. I'm teaching everything from 8th grade through 12th grade. I'm going to say right now, I've never taught 8th grade before. The youngest grade I ever taught was 9th, so that'll be interesting. I'm not entirely sure what you do with an 8th grade class, but I'm just going to figure it out as I do it. So that'll be interesting. But yeah, so I have to kind of figure out what to do with those guys. And here's another problem: I don't have enough books for a lot of the things I want to teach. That's not true. Some of the books I want to teach, they have enough copies of. Lord of the Flies, they probably have enough copies of Lord of the Flies to teach the entire school. So, with teachers included. So there you go. That's pretty sweet. And that's one of my favorite books ever. It's a brilliant book. It's extremely dark, but it's a very brilliant book. So I'm really looking forward to teaching that. I taught last year during my student teaching, which is pretty cool. And I thought it went over pretty well. Anyway, so and other books I have enough copies of are To Kill a Mockingbird, Catch-22. So I'm going to be using those two as well. I wasn't planning on using those two because I haven't read them in a really long time, especially To Kill a Mockingbird. I haven't read that since freshman year of high school. But, so yeah, oh my God, that's almost 10 years. I'm so old. I found another gray hair in my beard this morning. Pluck that right out. Eesh. Anyway, so yeah, so I'm going to be teaching that, and I'm going to be teaching Catch-22, which that'll be fun, I think. I'm saving that for my seniors. But, is it for my seniors? I saved it for my juniors. I'm not sure. One of the higher grades. Anyway, so we're doing that. And then I also have in mind, I'm going to teach them Shakespeare for 9th through 12th grade. They're going to be getting a little bit of Shakespeare. The problem is that I don't have enough copies of Shakespeare for everybody in each class. So here's what I ended up trying to do. I tried to look online to see if I could find, because you can find anything on the internet, to be real. You can find how to, I don't know, build a spaceship online if you wanted to. I'm sure some crazy guy has it. Anyway, so I went online trying to find transcripts of Shakespeare plays, and I found a site that has, I'm pretty sure, every single one of his plays just written right out there online for you, and that was really really cool. And actually, you can find pretty much anything like full books online for free if you look hard enough. You don't have to buy them or download them or anything, but they just put it on the site, which is really really cool. I found all of Shakespeare's plays, found Beowulf, found the Inferno, Frankenstein. You can find anything if you look hard enough. So I did that. That's what I ended up doing during my workshops. Where one of my workshops is about math stuff, and mind you, I teach English. Me and math don't mix. So I ended up working on this instead. I was just kind of sitting there. We were all in the cafeteria. I was just kind of sitting at my laptop, like, yeah, paying attention, going back to work and stuff. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. And I found a bunch of books online. And then I was really excited at first, and then I realized something. Well, and by realize something, I mean someone made a point to mention this to me. A lot of the students, I work in a very rural area, and a lot of the students don't have internet access at home. Well, not a lot, but enough. If it was just like one or two, I could find a way around that. But it sounds like there's a few more than that who don't have internet access. I don't know. I haven't met my kids yet. I don't know what their home situation's like. If it turns out that all my students in one class at least have internet access at home, I might still do it online. But I don't know. We'll see. I'll find out next week. So yeah, so I kind of have to think of an alternative. I was told though that there's this local bookstore that sells a lot of books for really really cheap. So I'm gonna be checking that out. And then there's a couple schools nearby who they kind of trade books off. If they're not using it and another school wants to, they might trade or something for a short period of time. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look into that. So that'll be interesting. And yeah, so that's pretty much what I've had going on. It's been a very hectic few days. So yeah, no, that's pretty much workshops real quick right there for you. They're long, they're boring. They're sort of important. You do have to go through them pretty much every year, I'm told, but it's not fun. There are moments that are fun. I got to hang out with my coworkers a lot, and that was pretty cool. We kind of goofed off a little bit. It's funny. I used to be in college. I used to be an RA, and we would spend a whole week going. I'm sorry, I'm playing with this thing again. We'd go through a whole week of training, pretty much all day, every day for a whole week of workshops and discussions and stuff like that. It kind of felt a lot like that, only I was with older people. I'm pretty sure I'm the youngest person there by half dozen years, I think. So that felt weird. That felt weird. Nothing makes you feel young like working with a bunch of married people with kids and stuff. So, but they're cool. I like them a lot. They're really really cool. So, the ones I've met at least. I've met mostly the high school and middle school staff. I don't know much of the grade school staff, but the upper grades I met with most of them, and I like them a lot. They're cool. I'm looking forward to working with them. But yeah, so to get to the other thing, because I want to talk about that briefly, is looking for a job and the difficulties involved with that. I'm going to tell you right now that this part, if you're a current teacher right now, then you can ignore this part. But if you're looking for a job or you're a student teacher or a college kid who's thinking about becoming a teacher, I'm going to tell you this right now. This isn't meant to discourage you, not in the least. I think teaching is probably one of the few noble professions left, so this is not to discourage you, but I just kind of a warning. It's extremely difficult to find a job. Throughout the whole summer, I had applied to over a dozen schools easily, and only got interviews with 4 or 5, and pretty much all of them, except for where I'm at right now, a lot of them kind of were like, yeah, we found somebody better. Just recently found out one of the jobs I lost out on, I lost to a friend of mine who was student teaching with me at my school. So good on him. If you're watching, good for you, buddy. And so yeah, so that was kind of funny, but getting the rejections from all the other schools was less fun. So I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to get a lot of no's. You're going to get a lot of people who either don't want to interview you or they interview you and they'll say no. And well, I'm hoping it's nothing to do with you. I mean, I don't know you, but a lot of the time when it comes down to is the fact that coming fresh out of college, we don't have experience. That's the big thing. We have student teaching experience, but that's pretty much it. Unless you go to a school like I did that has in your second year practicum experience as well. So you might grand total have a year under your belt. A lot of other schools don't do that though, so you might have half a year. Thing is lately a lot of teachers are retiring, so well, not retiring, but they get laid off from schools because of budget cuts and stuff, and so they're looking for jobs. And unlike us, they do have experience. They've got a lot of experience teaching, so they kind of have that over you. And a lot of schools, in my experience at least, prefer that. They like to have somebody who's got a few years under their belt and knows how to handle a classroom. It's not always true. I do have some friends who manage to get teaching jobs right out of college. One of them actually got a teacher job at my old grade school, where I went to school growing up, so good on you, buddy. And yeah, and another friend of mine got a job down in Virginia, so yeah, they're the only two I know of right now, actually, aside from my buddy who got the other job. But yeah, so I'm going to tell you right now, it's very difficult to find a job. Here's a good bit of advice, though. Have application packets already set to go. Have multiple copies of your reference letters, multiple copies of your resume, letters of reference. Also, a lot of schools want to see kind of your take on on your philosophy of education. Narrow that down to a page. You don't really want to go more than that. Have that ready to go. Just have packets already printed, so as soon as you go online and find an opening or you hear about one, you can send it out right then and there and just be gone. So do that. That's one of the best pieces of advice I can give to you. Another bit that's important, don't get discouraged. A lot of people are going to say no, but you only need one school to say yes. So that's that. And another bit of advice is don't be too worried about having to relocate. I had to relocate quite a ways away from home, even further from the school I went to, which is kind of my second home. And that's kind of what it took to get me a job. If I wasn't willing to relocate, I wouldn't be teaching this fall. Simple as that. So, you might have to put yourself out there. It's not fun. Nobody really I'm not gonna say nobody. Some people don't really like the idea of having to move somewhere. But that might be what it takes to get the teaching job, and you have to be kind of willing to. It depends on how much you want to teach. If you really want to teach, you kind of have to be willing to make that choice. Don't let anybody make that one for you, though. So you have to make that one for yourself. So I had to relocate way, way, way away. I'm currently in my kitchen right now in my apartment in Galaxy, far, far from home. It feels like, but I've got a job. Simple as that. So yeah, and that wasn't me bragging. That was just me stating a fact. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I'm probably going to post another one Tuesday. Yeah, Tuesday afternoon, evening, sometime in there. Whenever I get back, I have a really long commute from where I'm staying or living to the school. It's about a 45-minute commute, just one way. So. And we have to stay there. And I'm going to be staying there for quite a while after school, probably, anyway, on the first day at least. So, yeah. That's that. I think that pretty much covers everything I want to talk about today. Hope you're all having a wonderful weekend. And I'll be seeing you guys again on Tuesday. Thanks a lot. Well, thanks for watching The Irish Teacher. Take it easy.